Like, make this make sense. Not even 2% of the money that was donated to Melissa, Hurricane Melissa victim, that's supposed to use in the relief effort, no use. And ODP, am I gonna say, because the Minister of Finance never approved it. Somebody explain it to me, please. Not even 2%, 1.8%. And people still out of door right now don't have a roof over them head. Make it make sense.
Them prayer for Hurricane Melissa come. For can rob up the money, you know. And them, believe sometimes it hurt me whether or not sit through 10 inches wall. Andrew always them prayer for Hurricane Melissa come. We can get the donations for rubber booty, you know, and then come with.
Right here is mine. Let me make that clear. And I tell you to back up. Back way. Take away yourself from right there, sir. Stay over there, sir. Do what you want to do over there, sir. I have no problem.
Boy, yes, I tell you, this. But Hurricane Melissa passed and gone long time. It is in the news now that some of the funds are not, listen to this now, you know, was not used, number one, and number two, majority of the funds was not used actually. And number two, I believe that there is still not an oversight, independent audit commission to preside over the funding. What's your thought?
Well, it just shows you the inadequacies and the corruption of the present government. Because when you get funds from overseas to help your people, this is to help the people in distress. And when you can make some of the goods food rotten,
money are rotten,
money now is missing, it just goes to show the depth of corruption and the mismanagement of the present regime. And we need to rectify that as soon as possible. The people, and this is to you, the people now, when there's a protest, come out, make them see the numbers. It's numbers count, you know. When them see the numbers of people coming out to protest against them, they will understand that their time is numbered.
Not even 2% of the money no use. And people still out there so under tree. People still don't have a roof over them head. And the Jamaica government, not even 2% of the money no use, brother. Almost a year later, money still from Hurricane Beryl, still no use it. And the money from Melissa was supposed to help people, still don't spend and help nobody. People under tree, no roof over them head. And somehow Jamaica move on and like, Jamaica just forget say yo, people down there still a suffer. People down there still outside under tree, catch up, tarpaulin over them head. And police out here hunt down the young man them like a bird. I say yo, them a chopper, them a this and them a that. And the biggest chopper in a Jamaica, where them there? Who are the biggest chopper in a Jamaica? Tell me say you don't know the biggest chopper in a Jamaica. Who is the biggest chopper in a Jamaica right now? Who have the most money ma chop everywhere? Legal chopper. Everybody afraid for talk and them a try pass a law. So if you make a post like this, a problem. You can't talk again, them a try pass all kind of law. And we sit down, them a take the money and them a why no law now pass who in a parliament? Get sentencing for misappropriation of funds and mismanagement or abusing government office and them thing there. I be a little idiot law. $10,000 for fag light. Phone if you have phone, and how much for phone if your phone they near you. And if you don't have baby seat, brother, you see a law make for we the people. No law now make for who in a parliament and who in a government places. And we sit down and take that. I not talk about PMP and JLP, you know. Because I'm not the panel side, you know. I'm a future, I talk about. I'm a pitney them on a bonnet and the one where they are right now. And them me I look out for. Me no business about politics. And we sit down like we are idiot. All me can say, people, let us pray. Yeah.
Yeah, me no bonnet in my bed. I'm a friend them I talk about it. Because I come from St. Elizabeth. And I've been hearing, my friends been telling me, I have friends who have lost everything in Black River. And to look at this and to realize that they haven't done anything. I know people, there are still people at that side of the world, Montego Bay, Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, who still are living in tarpaulin. And you're telling me that they can't do anything about it? Lest we forget, hurricane season next month. Yeah, try to tell me say they don't figure. I don't expect everything to be fixed right away. But you're telling me that you can't come up with a plan to help the people of Jamaica get zinc, get whatever. I bet you if it was an election season and they would have figured out how to fix it, not even 10% of the money them don't spend on the people them yet. Not figure it out yet. Are you joking? But yes, 1 p.m. Say, if I hate Andrew one more time, I hate him and I hate him. Him and him cronies them hate.
Everything you need to know in 90 seconds about Hurricane Melissa and burial donations. Reports are saying that Jamaica received $1.4 billion in cash donations from Hurricane Melissa. No, only 26 million of that money was spent. So roughly 1.8% of that money was spent, and that was reported in February of this year. No, this is where the conversation gets a little bit more spooky now, because now people are saying that money from hurricane burial has not been spent while communities are still trying to recover. Now, let's be clear. There were fake websites out there regarding donations for Hurricane Melissa, but officials were able to clear up that discrepancy and separate the two websites. So now Jamaicans are saying, if billions were donated, why does recovery feel so slow? No. ODPM basically said, don't put the fault on us. You need to turn your direction to the Ministry of Finance, because they were the reasons why delays were so slow and they were waiting on approvals. Now I have a question for you guys. Do you think this is one of the reasons why NARA had to be pushed so quickly? Is this one of the reasons why NARA was pushed so quickly? And why NARA they have to pass and them stay in a parliament after 2 to pass? So guys, let us know in the comments what you think.
Say people in Jamaica get crazy after them hear say up to February of this year, ODPM, which is Office of Disaster Preparedness Emergency Management, only spend 1.8% of all of the donation where them get towards the hurricane victim them. You see what I mean? The man them go spend 1.8% of the $1.4 billion what them get. People must say, look at the man them take time to try to disappear the money. That's why them take so long. I mean, it could have been anything, you know. Maybe government them must say, boy, them want to make sure so them put the money to good use, or maybe them come up with a better plan, or them go put up more stable structure and not just a little piece of board or whatever we go blow down back. You see what I mean? Maybe that genuinely them try to work out something well best for everybody or long term. You see what I mean? Plan. But the people them now have it, bro. They must say the common sense where them have. Just I tell them so something wrong. Why the money I spent so slow? After 4 months after hurricane pass, you go spend 1% of the money. Like people still out there ball for help and need help, and just that alone I'm not sure about. You look like a fool no money. I know who need come for. But that the people must say no me. You see, but the government them could have genuinely probably try to work out something best suit and work out for everybody. As I say. It could be that, or they maybe I try to disappear the money for true, dog. You know, me say so. Jamaican people them say so. You know what I say? Them say, man, them need to show out the $1.4 billion what them get. Feed them on and a government one. I'm out.
How is it almost another hurricane season and so many Jamaicans are still displaced? Where did the hurricane relief money go? 1.8% was spent. What's going on with the rest? Something about this is just not adding up, and I'm genuinely trying to understand it. If you're lost, let me add some context. A new Auditor General report is raising serious questions about how quickly hurricane relief funds are reaching Jamaicans who need help. According to reports, Jamaica received approximately $1.44 billion in cash donations for Hurricane Melissa relief. But by February 23rd, only 26 million Jamaican dollars had reportedly been spent to assist the victims. Audit also pointed to concerns over unspent funds, missing delivery records for roofing materials, and incomplete documentation linked to contracts. ODPEM reportedly said the slow spending was tied to not yet receiving authorization from the Ministry of Finance to use the funds. For many families still trying to rebuild after the storm, the big question is simple. Why is so much donated money still sitting down while people are still waiting on help? There are still people in devastating conditions, displaced people, and these people sadly are helping themselves because many people who helped them last year, helped them once or twice, them can't continue to help the people because they have to help themselves too. What I gather from all of this is that everyone is playing the blame game. I can't help but wonder if this is one of the situations where they only help who they know, or you have to know somebody. You know, in Jamaica, links really run this thing. So if you don't know somebody, or you don't know somebody when know somebody, you just get knocked. Because currently, this is exactly what the situation feels like. And correct me if you feel like I'm speaking from a place of ignorance, but I'm just being transparent. Because people donated, people helped, people are still in need. So what's really going on? The only solid help these people received were from the ground, from their relatives, from their friends, from people in different countries who sent supplies. And what them really need is that money that you guys are sitting on to build homes, proper structure. And even if you can't get them a proper structure, why aren't there temporary homes being built to facilitate these people? My question is, where are these people even being hosted? Them sleep somewhere or on that tent? That is why when I was assisting, I did not take monetary donations. I gave them proper help, food, medical supplies, building materials, and the list goes on. And this isn't about politics, it's about the people, because Jamaica deserves answers and action. Right now, I'm sure many of us have questions.
Everybody have a right to be upset though, right? And that are the fact say only 1.8% of the $1.4 billion that has been given to the Jamaican government for hurricane relief, it has been actually spent in like given to the public for, you know, get that done. Now they mentioned say at the Ministry of Finance it hasn't fully approved of certain of the spending, and this is why I tell you, say, ladies and gentlemen, you see, bureaucracy, it kills every form of fast growth that can take place. The government have the money. It's not the case where they don't have the money. I used to think say them probably never have the money, but them got the money. Them fully got the money at some point. But guess what? How the government is designed. Then committee come together, committee reach one decision, and then which every member of the committee is satisfied with, and then they can move forward. Now, that are the most difficult thing. That in and of itself is difficult because most committees have to be made up of two opposing parties. So you can see how it's hard for them to reach an agreement already.
Jamaica received approximately $1.44 billion in donations after the Melissa hurricane, and only approximately 26 million has been spent, right? And that's an allegedly, which they're saying is only 1.8% of the money received, right? Due to why, what they're saying is that this is why it's very important to have an auditor. What is coming up now is they're saying that the missing or unspent funds is due to missing delivery records for roofing and material, incomplete documents linked to contracts. And they're saying the reason why they haven't spent it all or used it is because they haven't received authorization from the Ministry of Finance to use the funds, right? I'm reading this directly from the report. Here's where my issue lies. I literally recorded a few weeks ago Andrew being on the news here in New York City. And he said that the funds have been spent and that Jamaica is, running and moving smoothly and everything is back up and going and the people have what they need. And he was making it seem like Jamaica is doing well after the hurricane. Where this report literally says people are still struggling. People still don't have roofs. They still don't have this. They still don't have that. 1.44 billion. I don't think people realize how big billion is. And only 26 million was spent. And in that 26 million, he's saying a lot of that money went towards electricity and making sure people rehab lights. I want y'all to think about it. If people don't have a roof, could they possibly have light? Jamaica government plays a very dirty game. Very dirty game. But what I want them to realize is you're playing a dirty game with money that was given. And when I said this to a few months, don't take nothing from nobody. Because you sought out help, but now you have to answer to the help that you received. You think American people was just dishing. They need those paperwork. They need that write-off. They need that proof. And now you will have to answer to it. This is why auditors are so important. This hurricane happened back in November. We're now in May. It's almost about to be a year. $26 million was spent. And I mean, clear as day, you can see you didn't do no. So what's really going on? Yeah.
I want to step back for a moment and give you the full picture of what the Auditor General found. Because when you see the complete story, it is even more troubling than each individual finding on its own. After Hurricane Melissa struck Jamaica, donations poured in from Jamaicans at home and abroad, from people across the world wanting to help. By the figures in this report, the ODPM received $1.4 billion in cash. $1,440 million. That's not a chicken feed. That's not a little bit of money. As of February 2026, do you know how much of that was spent? 26 million. That is 1.8%, less than 2% of the money spent. So 7 months after the hurricane, over 98% of the monies donated were sitting unspent. Now, think about that. People gave money, businesses donated, the diaspora wired funds, and all of it is sitting there unused while hurricane-affected families are waiting. They're sleeping in cars, they're sleeping under tarpaulin, them not have no roof, them not have no home. Many of them, their businesses have been destroyed, and 98% of the money remains unused. On top of that, a financial services institution was holding 30% of the net donations to cover potential chargebacks. But 4 months after the hurricane, there was still no formal written agreement governing that arrangement. And bank statements confirming those funds were returned to the ODPM were never provided to the auditors. And then there's the National Disaster Fund under the Disaster Risk Management Act. The fund must be audited annually on a standalone basis. It must have its own bank account, and it must have proper annual reports. For 5 consecutive years, none of that happened. The fund has been quietly folded into ODPM general accounts and presented as a liability. What is going on? The Auditor General has laid this out plainly, and the government must now answer. Not with press releases, not with spin, not with promises, but with action, with proper documentation and real accountability to the Jamaican people who gave generously and deserve to know that their generosity has been honored. Jamaicans and donors deserve answers. It is simply scandalous that 7 months after a hurricane, 98% of monies donated have not been used when there is so much suffering in the country.
Alright people, me and my enough self I scrolled through Facebook a while ago and I saw a very interesting video. A video saying that less than 2% of the hurricane relief money that was donated to persons affected by Hurricane Melissa was used. As of February 2026, 1.8% of all the millions and billions of dollars donated has been used. So, me not gonna be the pussy wolf to say I told you so, because the last time I spoke up about the injustice and the treatment of persons affected, people came at me and threatened me and said a lot of things about me. Thank you for those comments, by the way. I love blocking you guys so much, but I have nothing to say. I told you guys already, you depend on the government to sustain you and take care of you and have your best interests at heart. And these people do not give a fuck about you, right? But me not going to say about this whole situation. Let's watch the clip and you can share your comments below, because when I speak up about these things, me are the pussy.
Millions untouched. The Auditor General has found that less than 2% of cash donations for hurricane relief has been spent as of February this year. In addition, millions more collected after Hurricane Beryl also remain untouched. Details in this report. The Auditor General report found that despite receiving more than $1.4 billion in cash donations for Hurricane Melissa, only $26 million, just 1.8%, had been spent as of February this year. Millions more collected after Hurricane Beryl also remained untouched. ODPEM told auditors the low spending resulted from the absence of approval from the Ministry of Finance to access the funds. But the concerns in the report go beyond unspent money. The Auditor General says major weaknesses were identified in the management and tracking of supplies under the government's roof restoration program. The report comes at a time when the parliamentary opposition has been blasting the government for its Hurricane Melissa recovery efforts. But that's not all. The Auditor General said contracts valued at $167 million were awarded for roofing materials using emergency procurement measures allowed during disasters. But of the $122 million in materials reportedly delivered to the Jamaica Defense Force locations, only $88 million worth was formally acknowledged as received. The remaining $34 million in supplies had no signed delivery slips or goods received notes confirming delivery. The Auditor General also found incomplete payment records tied to two major contracts valued at more than $108 million. Overall, only $26 million in payments linked to the program could be independently verified by auditors. ODPEM reported that more than 400 roofs were repaired under the program. However, auditors say they could not fully confirm that claim. The report says no documentation was provided showing how beneficiaries were selected, how households were verified and approved, or whether repairs were formally completed using the materials procured. Auditors also noted that while ODPEM submitted lists of beneficiaries and some geotagged locations, critical supporting records were missing. The report also flagged concerns surrounding the handling of donated cash. Auditors found that a financial services institution withheld millions in donations without a formal agreement in place with ODPEM governing the arrangement. The Auditor General says the findings highlight serious deficiencies in accountability, documentation, and oversight in the management of disaster relief resources.
So this is a very disturbing news. They said Auditor General reveals as of February, Jamaica spent 1.8% of the hurricane relief donations. So tell me, what am I gonna do with the money? Like, what is really going on? They got about $1.4 billion worth of donations and relief. And so that's about $26 million have been spent. People are still without homes. People are still without water. People are still without nothing. Like, this is truly unacceptable. And this is actually very embarrassing. Like, look how much people help Jamaica. Look how much people send donations. Look how much people, countries, aid was given to help restore the western part of the island. And it's still, where is the money? Because next thing y'all got here say, oh, the money missing. Oh, them can't find the money, this and that. And hurricane season is coming again. So yeah, this is very disturbing news. This is unacceptable. And the government needs to do something immediately. This is truly unacceptable.
Yes, sir, P. You're right again. Either them can't do it, or them not want to do it. And you're afraid of that, you know? You're afraid that them thief it, now own it. Right? An audit conducted by the Auditor General's Department of Jamaica has revealed troubling gaps in Jamaica's hurricane relief management, finding that despite billions of dollars in donation, only a minor fraction has been spent, raising red flag over how fundings are being managed. Really? $144 billion has been collected in donation, and only 1.8% being spent, which is $26.2 million. Them no want to do it. Well, this is what them do. Them dangle food over on the edge. You know, like when them feed crocodile, and them dangle the food over the crocodile, and the crocodile go up and move the food. That's exactly what them are doing. That's exactly what they're doing to you. You remember some time ago, I don't remember which minister came out and said them spend how much millions of dollars on hurricane relief. and people were saying nothing no go so. Where did you spend that money? They didn't. Because only $26.2 million was spent. Either them want to do it, or them can't do it. Or either them can't do it, or them don't want to do it. Sir P, I have to go listen back to Sir P phrase again, because I own that phrase. I master it and own it. Because them don't want to do it by that. Anyway, I'm gone again.
$4 billion Jamaican dollars that have been received in donor funds for Hurricane Melissa related support. 600 million of that amount is being used to build bases for the modular housing solutions for people whose dwellings have been destroyed. Additionally, $240 million is being used to support the government of Jamaica directed roof repair program, where the JDF assists Jamaicans to restore their dwellings. This is separate, of course, from the roofs program. Additionally, $560 million has been committed to additional Melissa-related recovery efforts. Jamaica is in a new era of managing an...
So that's the voice of Senator Morgan. He has clearly here and said that so Senator Morgan has said the government spending of $67 billion to assist Jamaicans with Hurricane Melissa relief and recovery. And he also said that the donor donated $1.44 billion in transparency accountability, and also 600 million out of that is going to make the base for the new house that coming into Jamaica. Already started, and that money already spent to make the base to put the container houses. So, and lots more money that's spending out there. So what the Integrity Commission has said in this saga that's going on right now, who is to be blamed? Who to believe? Because the senator has said 67 billion spent, another $101.44 billion but it at the donor money I spend. Remember, money spent for buy bring a container what 1,500 container house, and plus 600 billion I go spend for the base, to bet the base, and also water pipe and electricity. All of them things they come into play. So where all these news come from? If all these money spent, and the party is at fault, because them news should have come out already. Them news somebody should have them news already. So when the news are gonna bring out all of these allegations, say the money is there but it not spent, and only a fraction of the money spent, the money did there linger, people are gonna say the government I linger with the money and the government wicked. And then I blame the government, them I blame Andrew, them now blame the institute and the other entity them. And Andrew them I blame. So who is to be blamed, Rasta, in all of these things? Mr. Senator, them things you should have done road already. Mr. Morgan, you should have waited till now. Because, me I say people are going to say it. People now going to believe because of what out there already. What out there already, them not, even if I lie, we're out there now. When you come with this, Mr. Morgan, them not going to want to believe, because them I say, why now? Why you wait till this time? Them things you should have every 2 second month or one time, them give an update on the spending of the Melissa money. You see me I say? So it kind of set away right now. But we'll see. We're going to see what happens. See me I say?
The Auditor General's latest real-time audit report into billions of dollars donated for hurricane relief following Hurricane Melissa has left the opposition People's National Party irate at the findings. While the government has sought to counter, insisting there was no claim of corruption or scandal, one opposition senator counters,
"It is unconscionable and scandalous that the government sat and donated money while thousands of Jamaicans suffered. People were hungry. People were sleeping under damaged roofs or no roofs at all. Families were struggling to rebuild their lives, and the money donated by generous Jamaicans and well-wishers to help them was simply sitting idle, going nowhere. Unlike the government, the facts are honest. The Auditor General confirmed that 88% of the $1.4 billion in Hurricane Melissa donations remain uncommitted."
The opposition's deputy spokesman on productivity, efficiency, and effectiveness says this means there was no plan, no contract, and no obligation to deploy the funds. He reasons,
"Bureaucracy slows spending, but it does not prevent a government from committing funds. So the question that must be asked is why, several months after Hurricane Melissa, did 88% of donated funds have no commitment whatsoever attached to them? And this appears to be a pattern, because we must recall that the Auditor General said that $138 million from hurricane burial donations in 2024 sat idle and was never reported to the Ministry of Finance as required by the law.
The senator also countered the government's response, contending there's no defense for the handling of the funds and demands that a transparent expenditure plan be laid out for the money.
Senator Morgan cannot credibly blame red tape for money that was never directed anywhere. These are not bureaucratic delays. This is a governance failure. Jamaicans who donated in good faith deserve accountability, and we're calling on the government to immediately publish a transparent expenditure plan for all outstanding disaster relief funds."
The government has said the findings further support the need for the National Reconstruction and Resilience Authority, NARA, to chart the country's infrastructure rebuilding efforts after Hurricane Melissa.
Audit finds ODPEM spent just 1.8% of Hurricane Melissa donations amid accountability concerns. A real-time audit by Auditor General Pamela Monroe Ellis has revealed that up to last month, the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, spent only $26 million of the $1.44 billion donated to assist victims of Hurricane Melissa. The report raises serious accountability concerns, citing $34 million in unverified roofing material deliveries and gaps in documentation for goods received by the Jamaica Defense Force. It also found that payment data remains outstanding for contracts valued at over $100 million, with just $26.2 million in verified payments out of $167.3 million committed. The findings come as many affected Jamaicans are still struggling to recover months after the Category 5 storm. Christopher Martin was in the comment section saying, "Wickedness." Somebody has asked, wait, isn't ODPEM under the Prime Minister's office, meaning it's a part of his portfolio? Somebody has said, all I know where did I shout about choose Jamaica, step to the front, one bro God. Another person says, yes, but y'all need to raise taxes to cover hurricane expenses. I know there was no way y'all spend $1 billion when nothing much was done. We need some justice. We need to see some penalties being handed out. But how do you feel about the news, massive? Let me know in the comment section below.
So, this big fat sour man here, see him in Jamaica, say he's a government senator. Yeah? When you look on the senator, see him there? And look what the senator was said out and look a dirty mouth. Government senator says the report on the spending of hurricane donations highlights the need for NARA. And everybody know about this NARA bill. Yeah, this NARA bill. Now this man I gonna say, yo, what go on? So the Auditor General has now discovered that we only used 1.8% of the donations that was sent for the people. As a matter of fact, from burial, from 2024, yeah, we have money where we get to help people and we not help them. That is what that is saying. When entertainers and TikTokers like myself and Andre Stevens and others, a bunch of others, such and such, and all the Jamaicans them will get up and we run go down so. Go make sure say, yo, we can help on one people and we can do that and we can do that. Yeah? The government of Jamaica, we've been telling you, say them sit down for the money. And some big dirty thinking labor right. Andrew Oldness, Batty Washer, drunk them. Oh no, dog shit. Well, get up and follow back at Andrew Oldness and this a big dirty sour one and thinking Christopher Tufton. And dirty, nasty, sour, ugly, wicked, evil Darrell Vaz. Wanna get up and run back a set of dirty people in a parliament that gets up and do this to the Jamaican people. And then have the audacity to come and make you know say, oi, that's why we need the NARA bill. You know what is the NARA bill? Where we're not on a body and we're on a red tape. We just do what we want to do and we're not on oversight. Yeah, that's why we want the NARA bill. That is drunk. This dirty dog shit I say. And on start burn down the country. On start do nothing yet. On start find them and make them understand themselves. Yeah? On make them look a dirty Batman and get up every day and drive with crazy. What more do they need to do for one to understand? So they make like a dog shit here. Them neck for them on the gallas. Why am I afraid to make politicians know say on a neck for them on a gallas? Why am I afraid to make them know that? Eh? Let me tell you this now. Jamaica. You think me a laugh with them a dog shit here? People are down to right now on the tarpaulin. While them a dirty thinking drunk you go home every night to a hot meal, king size bed, hot and cold water, and then pitney sleep comfortably in their room because them have multiple rooms and them big fancy houses and they have them big old gun and them have big old security and one bag of police will protect them every night. It comes with the package and that's why they can talk to us. So you're getting money for helping people them and still sit down for the money. Only you less than 2% of money on the use and Jamaica quiet. I would like for everybody to block every road starting tomorrow and demand that the Andrew Oldness administration fold, and by fold it means a time for it dissolve. Every single road in a Jamaica for block starting tomorrow. I'm not in a country, you know, because I had to be with my kids right here, so in the Bahamas. Yeah. I first me fly out of the country from Hurricane Melissa. Because me down there, I spend time, I help my people them. I help my people. While me did I help them, I'm no government. Nobody never vote for me. Me no government. Yeah? On a dirty thinking prime minister. And them a little batty money where they run him. Have a country money, I do feed them business. Have the country money, I do feed them business. Or percentages out of 100. So it's like you have 100 things and the money use. Let me just put that 2. Them just use 2 out of the 100. And people down there need help. So they are the 98 out of the 100, them sit down upon here. That is what that is saying. For the people that want to really get the maths and don't know where really are going. Man, them get. So like them get $100 for help, you know, and then just use $1.80. 1.8. Then just use $1.80 out of the $100 for help, you know. And them sit down right now upon the 98% $1.2. That I say. I only hope I break it down for now. And you know something? No phone I go vote for him tomorrow. If Andrew Honest call election tomorrow, I'm going to vote for him, see, man, Joe. The kind of obia where the man have pound now, one different kind of obia. You know why them thing not catch me? You know why for them like a dirty evil spell not dep on me? Why I'm 10 steps ahead of them? And then the drunk they can't, because I am covered by a different kind of spirit. The real spirit. Covered. That's why the drunk them can't understand how comes me come out of the pack. A time for the country. Lockdown. Jamaica. A time for every road block. I talk to all of you them who are suffer. Westmoreland and everywhere. A time for the place black. Police are kill out the youth them and politicians are refuse to help you know. Politicians are plan to build parliament and UNO we're under tarpaulin right now. There's no plan in the same NARA bill to help none of UNO. There's not even zero plans to help UNO we don't suffer. And the money we then get for help UNO, one friggin' drop, then go no. And that is a government to care and love no. In Jamaica, I want government to care and love no. Yo, me tell you say no, keep them far from me. Keep them far from me. Because me, I am so ready to hang them. Yep, they must go and meet their maker. A time for the country, make sure so they hang. They must go in front of a judge and be hung. Go in front of one judge and be hung. I don't want nothing else for them. They are evil. They are evil. They are evil. Jamaica, them evil. Alright.
Rich, ugly, and corrupt, the unholy trinity. Billions donated for hurricane victims are still sitting untouched while families across Jamaica are struggling to survive and people are furious. An Auditor General report revealed that out of more than $1.4 billion collected for Hurricane Melissa relief, only $26 million had been spent by February this year. That's less than 2%. Think about that while parents are still sleeping under damaged roofs and babies are going hungry. The report also uncovered missing delivery records, incomplete payment documents, and millions in supplies that auditors could not properly track or verify. Officials claim hundreds of roofs were repaired, but investigators say there's little evidence showing who actually received help or whether some repairs were even completed. And honestly, this is why trust in leadership keeps breaking down. Because when disaster strikes, citizens donate believing that money will reach the people crying out for help, not sit frozen behind paperwork while suffering becomes a normal part of everyday life. Follow News Nerd for more daily news.
You know what I don't understand? Jamaicans will literally burn down the internet over a rude boy billboard. And rightly so, there are things that are inappropriate and there are things that are appropriate, so that's fine. The same Jamaicans go almost silent when there's a report that only 1.8% of the Hurricane Melissa relief funds has been spent, $26 million. Out of 1.4 billion with a B. Like, I really don't get it. We had endless debates and outrage and think pieces over the video over drink advertisements being offensive. And again, I agree, time and place for things. But people are still struggling, like, to rebuild their homes, their businesses, their livelihoods, to just get back on their feet and just to be able to live comfortably after this tragic event. And there's no outrage about our government not treating the situation with the same urgency. I just wonder, is it that as Jamaicans we have selective outrage depending on what is trending online, or because I just don't get it. This report came out and we're not getting the same level, the same energy that was being pushed into the conversation surrounding that rude boy billboard. And I get it. Again, I agree. The marketing strategy of the billboard thing was effective because, you know, it's earned the media, it gets people talking. But however, the positioning and all of that, time and place, especially, you know, near a school, so I get it. But like, the way we people them live, no matter as much to Jamaicans, is it that they don't understand. I feel like this is why real issues always get buried under distraction, because we pick and choose what deserves outrage. If you're not entertaining, we're not talk about it. Oh, my setting spray finally came. A billboard can offend you, but priorities matter. We can unite and come together and say, yeah, the ad is this or that. And we get KCMC to take action, or whoever to take action. Imagine what results we can get if we come together and have the persons who need to do what they need to do take accountability and action. Like, what do you mean you only spend 1% of the funds? What do you mean people are still living in these shelters? What do you mean farmers still can try to start farm again and get back their livelihoods? What do you mean? What do you mean? Because the urgency was there when the hurricane just passed. Hey, we need help. We're going to need it. Where's that same urgency now? And why? Why as Jamaicans, you're not angry enough? I don't get it.
So let's talk about this, right? So for Hurricane Melissa, the government received $1.4 billion, with a B, billion dollars, to aid the people that were affected by Hurricane Melissa. Now, may I talk about this because initially, when this whole thing happened, I made videos talking about helping the people and all of that. And I specifically said, do not give the money to the government. And people were mad. People came at me for it. So, let's see. It's now 6 months later. So, $1.4 billion was donated to the government. Out of that $1.4 billion, 6 months later, only $26 million out of that money has been spent to aid the people. That is 1% of the monies collected. 1%. Secondly, from Hurricane Beryl, the government received 138 million Jamaican dollars, as well as a little bit over 100,000 US dollars to aid the people that were affected. That money still has not been spent. The people them don't get it. The good thing is them say it never use. It's there, but this was specifically to aid the people that were affected. Now let's talk about the Hurricane Melissa money. I just came from St. Elizabeth. You have many farmers down there that their land is ready to farm and they can't afford the seeds. Because seeds down there, get to understand, is like $1,500 per pack. $15,000 per pack for one pack of seeds. So many of them can't farm because they have never been able to come back from all that they lost. Out of 1.4 billion, I feel like some seeds to be distributed to the farmers so they can rebuild their life could work. You also have a lot of people down there that they still don't have a roof on their house. They still don't have electricity. A lot of people, and this has been in the news also, are still living in shelters. School has started back, so your school operate as a school and a shelter, but over $1 billion that was meant for relief is still sitting down in an account, untouched by our government. 6 months later, so is when them people are going to need help. When do you plan to utilize this money to help the people? 6 months later, people still living without a roof. Some people still don't have electricity. Farmers still don't have seeds to plant. That's our bread basket. Make it make sense. And please remember, I'm not PNP. I'm not JLP. Both PNP and JLP make up the government. We're just a Jamaican. Someone don't want to hear no come about this PNP, JLP. Nah, the government is made up by both. When we say the government, it has people from both parties. This is outrageous. And we should be mad. I'm just saying. Oh, I don't always like my shirt them. Yeah, big up me, I actually made this. And I will be starting back the shirt line. So I know so can get all of the shirt them on us in wear. Yeah? Big up on yourself.
Look at me. The government of Jamaica take Jamaican people for idiot. You hear me say all I go? Them take we for idiot. So let's see. Today is the 15th of May 2026, and this article is dated May 12, 2026. It says ODPEM flagged for low utilization of donated hurricane relief funds, right? So then I went down to the article, and I'm just going to read it. This is just in case you missed it, right? It says Hurricane Melissa Relief Real-Time Compliance Audit Report, which was tabled in Parliament this afternoon, noted that 1.44 billion was received in cash donations for Hurricane Melissa from the Support Jamaica Initiative and direct donations. So I'm thinking that if a Jamaican or anybody of foreigner have a little bit of money and them say, all right, I really want to donate, and you didn't know where to send it, I guess you sent it to this. So you contributed to the 1.44 billion. It goes on to say, however, it revealed that only 26 million or 1.8% had been spent for the benefit of victims of the storm. 1.8%, that's about 2, not even 2%. Again, the amount was 1.44 billion, but they only spent 26 million. It was also revealed that amounts totaling 138.8 million and US 102,000 from Hurricane Beryl cash donations remained unspent. Now, if you do not remember, Hurricane Beryl was 2024. We're now in the year 2026. Again, it was also revealed that amounts totaling 139 million, that's Jamaican dollars, and US 102,000, come here, round that up, from Hurricane Beryl cash donations remained unspent. That means it is in the account, spend them and look on it. Hurricane Beryl, if in case you do not remember, was from 2024. And if my memory serves me correct, there were still people after Hurricane Beryl who never really get back on them foot yet, who've also been affected by Hurricane Melissa. All right. The Auditor General said the ODPEM, or ODPEM, I hear people calling it, did not provide information on the total funds collected and expanded for Hurricane Beryl. Listen to me. And ODPEM stands for Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, in case you do not know. So they are saying the low level of utilization was due to the absence of authorization from the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. You know, we as Jamaicans right now, I believe we're not upset enough. I think every Jamaican right now should be pissed. You should be so enraged. You should be calling the offices of a member of parliament. Because if you're in need, if you go up at the office them, or if you go make a line, you want crowd, draw down crowd, block the road them. We need help. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. And then the excuse is you did not get authorization from the Ministry of Finance. So the Ministry of Finance, the Finance Department doesn't say we're in need. The Finance Department don't see that Jamaicans are in need. And this is pissing me off so bad. I'm telling you, it's pissing me off so bad. Because guess what? You had regular Jamaican people grouping up together with their friends, or local Jamaican companies grouping up together with their peers, and they were at the supermarkets, and they were at the warehouses, and they were getting supplies, and they were on the road. They were on the road before the government stepped foot on the road. Jamaican people, we were already helping their neighbors before the government sent out the man them on the road. And now, all of this now, knowing that you had money, you had millions of dollars from Hurricane Beryl from 2 years ago sitting down. Money was never the issue. Money was never the issue. You had more than enough money to go on the road and get supplies, and on the road and get food to be on the road the next day. You had people waiting for days before they could get any sort of help. Weeks. You have people right now, up until January, they were still living in the schools. They were still in schools. They don't have no house. They don't have nowhere to live. They don't have nowhere to go. You have people with land, but who want supplies to put up a little something to live. And you had local companies dipping in their pockets and coming out with. Yes, I was saying you have people waiting for weeks to get help. You still have people right now who are without. You have children who are not going to school because they don't have anything, and the parents don't have anything, and they don't have anywhere to live. Up until now, I know people, right? It's just incredibly hard to believe that money is not the issue, and money is actually what we need to get things flowing. Only to find out that, we have money, we just did not get authorization to use it. Like, that's crazy. Like, what kind of authorization do you need? What proof do you need to show? Like, what's missing? Why? Like, it's May. It's May. We're in May. Why you could have possibly need to submit to the government, to the finance department, where you can't submit, for them sign off on it, and what is taking so long? And also, why do you still have money from Beryl? You have to spend the money. Because why are you holding on to it? Why are you saving it? Why do we still have money and why do we still have money when people are still without? That's the question. It's not like, everybody was taken care of and this is the balance. No, that is not the case, because you have people who are still suffer from Beryl when they recover from Beryl. So that is not the case. So why do you still have money? And if you have little savings, And you wait for the big check to come, and the big check not come yet. Use the savings where you have to know say the big check sure have to come. It is coming. The big check is coming. And persons are gonna be donating. The money is going to come. You have savings. Tap into that savings. That's why okay, so you still don't have the money from burial. Okay, yes, I'm gonna hold on to this. If in case there's an emergency. There is an emergency, the hurricane come. Why the money not just at dash out and say, yo, we have money, make sure say the Jamaican people them good. That's crazy. That's crazy. And every Jamaican be upset. Every Jamaican be call them member of parliament on the phone. If you're in need, you should be calling. We have money. Make them dip in the purse. Open the purse, I feel my purse. Open the purse. Open the purse. Open the purse.
Jamaica, I need you to take a quick walk with me. And I want you to wake up. Right? When people say things to you, don't take it political. Just take the truth, analyze it, and then apply it. So, in November of last year, I did a video about the ODPM only spending $0.00, right? I'm not sure I posted any of my proper real videos, because sometimes I'll make even 6-7 videos and then don't bother post them because I'm like, this is hitting too hard. But let's listen to the news and then we'll get back.
Millions untouched. The Auditor General has found that less than 2% of cash donations for hurricane relief has been spent as of February this year. In addition, millions more collected after Hurricane Beryl also remain untouched. Details in this report. The Auditor General report found that despite receiving more than $1.4 billion in cash donations for Hurricane Melissa, only $26 million, just 1.8%, had been spent as of February this year. Millions more collected after Hurricane Beryl also remained untouched. ODPEM told auditors the low spending resulted from the absence of approval from the Ministry of Finance to access the funds. But the concerns in the report go beyond unspent money. The Auditor General says major weaknesses were identified in the management and tracking of supplies under the government's roof restoration program. The report comes at a time when the parliamentary opposition has been blasting the government for its Hurricane Melissa recovery efforts. But that's not all. The Auditor General said contracts valued at $167 million were awarded for roofing materials using emergency procurement measures allowed during disasters. But of the $122 million in materials reportedly delivered to the Jamaica Defense Force locations, only $88 million worth was formally acknowledged as received. The remaining $34 million in supplies had no signed delivery slips or goods received notes confirming delivery. The Auditor General also found incomplete payment records tied to two major contracts valued at more than $108 million. Overall, only $26 million in payments linked to the program could be independently verified by auditors. ODPEM reported that more than 400 roofs were repaired under the program. However, auditors say they could not fully confirm that claim. The report says no documentation was provided showing how beneficiaries were selected, how households were verified and approved, or whether repairs were formally completed using the materials procured. Auditors also noted that while ODPEM submitted lists of beneficiaries and some geotagged locations, critical supporting records were missing. The report also flagged concerns surrounding the handling of donated cash. Auditors found that a financial services institution withheld millions in donations without a formal agreement in place with ODPEM governing the arrangement. The Auditor General says the findings highlight serious deficiencies in accountability, documentation, and oversight in the management of disaster relief resources.
So, with the news now that ODPM only spend 1.8% of the money, can we now agree to the fact that ODPM has been run poorly for years? Can we agree to it? As a matter of fact, I'll probably put it up on the screen. In November of last year, the government acknowledged that ODPEM has not had great management for years because they have problems retaining people, qualified people. That was the government's excuse in November of last year, right? Same time, the government took ODPEM and placed under the office of the Prime Minister because this will consolidate things and make things move more speedily. Remember, $0, 0 cents in November. Since that time, when ODPM was temporarily moved to the office of the Prime Minister for speed, ODPM spent only 1.8% and has not actually been actively helping the people the way it should. But now we're going to have NARA. NARA is going to fix everything, because everything was just some like a paperwork issue. It wasn't the fact that we were having poor management. No, it wasn't the fact. Yeah, man, it wasn't that. It was just some paperwork thing, not the fact that we have poor management. ODPM has been around for a long time. When have you ever heard that ODPM, after a disaster, weeks and months or whatever after a disaster, spent $0.00? When have you ever heard that 6 months after, ODPM only spent 1.8% of the money? Oh yeah, we hear now. That's because it's not about ODPM and red tapes. It's about poor management. Just like when we spoke about the old school buses and people defended it. And then they turn around and they buy brand new school buses, which was what was being recommended. And people still defend the foolishness. I know people still go and defend this foolishness right now, because that's just how people are. They don't think with their brains. They just think orange or green. But hey, keep thinking that way. Jamaica will never be better with people like you. I'm just saying.
So not even 2% of the cash that was donated to Hurricane Melissa relief support has been spent. Dog, them a chopping line hard.
All right. Me here or no? I am going to address this situation that has been floating around from yesterday. You know, I try to stay away from the long dialogues with what is going on in Parliament, but here is what you've missed if you haven't seen it yet. So this is why I tell many of you all the time, come to the live streams. Come and let us discuss more practical matters. Because you see, when you hear something like this, you see, when you hear say, because I don't know we are talking, I don't know we have uncovered much of the inefficiencies that are happening, and we don't have a reason for it. You see, it is not that money is there, or it is not that money is missing, it is that we don't have access to any information whatsoever. We have access to reports, we have access to summaries, we have access to estimations, we have access to what someone says, but we don't have access to any receipts. We don't have access to any contracts. We don't have access to any of the accounts. We don't have access to any of the actual documentation. I've said this for quite some time. Now, recently, we heard that the NARA bill was passed. Where is it? Who has a copy of it? And how comes the public have never seen this bill? Why is it a secret? Why can't we, the public who are paying for all of this, why can't we see any of the actual records? Anyways, I'm going to leave that right there. Did you just hear what the news report said? The National Disaster Fund does not have an account. So, wait in a trade bag? It under one bed? It in a one box? How, in this day and age, in technology, right? We've had digital systems for a very long time. How can a fund, something that is supposed to be an aggregate, a bunch of things put together to form a fund? It's just like you have one heap of cocoa in one basket. The basket is the fund, right? How can you have the basket, but you don't have no cocoa inside it? So, If there is no national disaster fund, where did the money go? Where was it donated to? To what account did it go? They say the account does not exist. And it is imperative that an account be created and managed and monitored. Listen. Just like we discussed on the lives. You see? Even if we are to get rid of all that is going on, right? And we say, listen, we don't even want any of the money in the consolidated fund. We just want to be left alone. Let we the people manage the country. Let we the people make all the decisions, all of the major decisions. We the people need to actually make the final say on what happens as far as projects, as far as funding, as far as every major decision. Let we the people decide if we want to spend on hurricane relief, if we want to buy zinc, if we want to, let us make those major decisions. If we don't have access to, if they want to keep everything where we as a people earn so far over the past 60 odd years, right? Still don't want to give us access to it. That would still be fine, because you know what happened? I said this before. Jamaica is not poor. Jamaica can never be poor. Because in tourism alone, the actual revenue that is collected by the government is 4.3 billion. 4.3. A matter of fact, I think last year it was 4.6 billion US dollar. Make that sink in. Just for a little bit. 4.6 billion US dollar. You see, a lot of the times we see expenses being reported on news media. Again, we never get to see what the actual cost of these things are. We hear say how much in houses are bought. We don't see the house them, we don't see where them go. Again, I am not giving legal advice. I am just sharing my opinion. If we actually had insight into what our money is doing, and we had control over what projects happen on the island, I think we could run it better as a people. Honestly. I think we could do a better job of saying, we know what we want, so we are going to focus on what we want. And when time we stop making ourselves suffer, when time we say to ourselves, now that we have reached our national goal, right? Let us make new goals. Let us make prosperity goals. Let us make goals like whenever somebody's birthday come around, right? We send them off to a hotel. 3 days. We're going to celebrate a birthday. We start having our own national entertainment events. We start having, you see, when time we don't have to be struggling, and when time we don't have to be scraping, when time we start treat everybody equal, a lot of the things that we are having problems with, we no longer have them anymore. So I think we should start thinking about how do we actually make Jamaica better? Join the lives and come let us have a real discussion. Because you see, things like these, it is only a distraction. Because what can we the people do about it? Right now. Can we do anything about anything happening in Parliament? No. Because what is happening in Parliament is private. We can't even get to see the Nara bill. A bill that was just passed that is going to affect the way the country is being run. We the people have no access to it. So how about we start talking about things that we can actually do? Things we can actually plan for. Join the lives. Mondays, Wednesdays and Saturdays at 6 p.m. Jamaica time.
Lawful, always.
Wagwan, the beautiful people of Jamaica, guys. Thank you so much for supporting this particular channel. We really appreciate you being here. Thank you for subscribing also. Kindly, we will be here every day. Every day, guys, expect a video from this channel. And let's keep engaging in the comment section. So, guys, in today's video, we are going to talk about this tax, not really tax, but the Hurricane Melissa funds, relief funds that were donated to the government so that they can help the struggling people of Jamaica. And then, like after several months after the hurricane, the Auditor General comes in and tells the world or the Jamaican people, you know what, the government, out of all the billions of dollars that were collected to help the people that are suffering, only 1.8% has been spent. That's like around 26 million of the billions of money that had been collected. So Jamaicans felt like, oh my God, we are just fed up with this particular government. I mean, 1.8%, yet there are people that lost everything. And then recently you were telling us about the Nara bill. I mean, what are you planning? So whatever is going on in Jamaica at the moment, I can tell you that Jamaicans are very angry. And if you're not angry, type in the comment section below and tell us that you're happy about the situation. Because that whatever has happened is not something that you can even laugh at. And honestly, the Jamaican people feel betrayed, I can tell you. So after the hurricane situation or disaster, so many Jamaicans they remained homeless, became homeless because of the severe damage. The roads were not accessible, schools damaged, farms and food damaged. And I can tell you the entire community is struggling up to date as we speak. This is May 2026. So in that situation also, people across the world are donated from Jamaica, outside Jamaica, everywhere. Governments donated and people sent money so that the government can help restore back the life of the Jamaican people. Private companies also helped. So in this case, every one of them thought that this money would go a long way in rebuilding the lives of the affected Jamaican people very quickly, like it will take a very short time. But at the moment, as we speak, we got to know or learn about a very shocking audit report that has actually sparked an outrage in Jamaica and worldwide. So across the Jamaica's Auditor General, not only like across, according to the Jamaican's Auditor General report, it is said that, or it is reported that only 1.8% of the relief money has been used. Several months later, it has been only 1.8% has been spent on restoring and rebuilding back Jamaica. So only 1.8%, that will mean that 1.8% of the total 1.44 billion Jamaican dollars received, that it will mean that 1.8% of 1.44 billion is equivalent to 26 million only that has been used so far up to 2026, the month of February. So maybe there are also those that has already been spent between March, April and May. Probably we don't know about that, but the official report from the Auditor General's office is 1.8%. So many people are only looking at the 1.8%, but they're not looking at the timing that was up to February 2026. The work of the Auditor General is to ensure that all the money that the government has is spent accordingly and to the expectations of how it's supposed to be used. So many Jamaicans are asking, where is the money? And I can tell you that if you talk to even a child in Jamaica, that is the only question that they will have in their minds right now. I can tell you, even the old people, the older generation, the newer generation, the Gen Zs, they will ask you if you tell them about this touching story that has sparked an outrage in Jamaica. And I can tell you that what we are seeing in these clips, these are real emotions. These are families that have suffered after Hurricane Melissa. These are people that have lost roofs over their heads or their families. Farms, most farms were actually destroyed completely, and it even affected the food supply in Jamaica. Some people lost everything. There were those that were severely hit or affected. There are those that were mildly affected, and I can tell you that it's chaotic at the moment. It's been around 3 days since the report came out, and Jamaicans are still talking. So currently, if you actually talk about the 1.8%, you will see everybody trying to attach the story to that moment when the hurricane was happening and everything had gotten destroyed. These images, I mean, this is what we are seeing. Everything got destroyed, and then are telling us that it's only 1.8% that has been spent. I mean, people were actually people's homes submerged, and you could see elderly people and Jamaicans in general, they got stranded. Children couldn't go to school anymore, and so many jobs got affected. Also, the tourism sector more so, and that meant that Jamaicans are lost jobs. So this Hurricane Melissa that happened like a couple of months ago, it caused a catastrophic destruction across Jamaica, not the entire Jamaica, but a section of Jamaica. And you can clearly see that, even if you watch these clips of these people that have attached the images, you can see that so many things were affected: schools, health facilities, farms, and everything. So, as you can see, we are talking about real issues, real things that needed immediate rebuilding, but it never happened. And now we are told 1.44 billion Jamaican dollars was collected, and the government has it, but it has only spent 1.8%. So Jamaicans don't want to look at the process, and you see, every government has a way of spending money. But now I don't know, Jamaicans feel like, what could have happened is that they would have overlooked all these processes and then go back, because at the end of the day, this is something that just happened suddenly. Nobody planned for it, nobody was prepared, it has happened. So the same case with the money, it came in, it wasn't even in the budget. So why is everything slowing down? So when Jamaicans hear the word billions, were just sitting there very idle. Nobody's touching them to help Jamaican people. I mean, the emotions of these people are exploding, guys. People have not gone back. They have not yet gone back to where they were before Hurricane Melissa, and yet we have billions sitting there very idle. So anyway, we are glad the Auditor General, according to the Auditor General's report, the money was not stolen, but it remains untouched, and of course that is very important. So I'm imagining if the Auditor General said that we've lost the the rest of the percentage of the 1.44 billion, what would have happened? I mean, of course, they would have exposed the government's weak oversight. They would have exposed poor accountability process. The procurement part, it would have really caused a lot of problems. And of course, many Jamaicans really want an explanation in this particular situation. they want to know why, and I'm also waiting for the government, the right honorable Prime Minister Andrew Holness, to come out and speak about this audit report, because it will really help so many Jamaicans to understand why the delay, yet people have not gone back to their feet and they continue suffering. So Jamaicans are saying that if disaster money cannot move quickly during a crisis, what is the point of asking people to contribute, and so that they can help Jamaican people? What's the point, guys, if you're asking for money quickly, but then when it comes to spending, you want to do it slowly by slowly? And one funny thing with Jamaica, it's like it's being controlled by a family. The prime minister is Andrew Holness, and then the I will say in most cases, we say the speaker of the house, is the wife. So, and those are two major organs in any government structure. They are very important, yeah, because it's like they are the final, they're the final people to decide on whether something progresses or doesn't progress. So they hold a very important position, and I don't know what Jamaicans are saying about that, because at the end of the day, they elected the president, and of course, yeah, their constitution is not like it's disallowing anybody to employ their family members or their spouses or their children. Here in Kenya, I think you know it will bring out a lot of legal issues when you employ your spouse or children. It brings out a lot of issues. So in Jamaica, I guess it's kind of different. So this issue of the 1.8 funds, 1.8% relief funds being spent only 1.8%, it has brought out issues to do with the trust. And public trust is something that is very, very important, because remember, at the moment, Jamaicans are already very frustrated with this politics, and they just want, they want somebody who can deliver without promises. I mean, people are tired of promises, and the fact that so many people have been left struggling even after these particular promises and cameras disappear, it's very alarming. One thing with politics, when the cameras are on, and these social media spaces, they do amplify a story like very fast. So when the cameras are on, politicians promise a lot, and when they go off, the struggle continues. And if you notice, those are some of the things that people no longer want, not only in Jamaica, but also across the world. So this particular issue of emergency response comes out at a time when many Jamaican people are already struggling, more so financially. So if you look at the price of food, cost of living, these are the things that we always talk about in our videos, because those are the items that Jamaican people never stop to talk about. Even in our clip today, I know you'll not miss somebody talking about the cost of living, or just the normal daily struggles that they go through. So these issues, they do eat the ordinary people like really differently. And of course, the outrage that you see out there, these are the real emotions of the Jamaican people across the island. Anyway, what can you say about this? Because as you can see, Jamaican people are calling for the resignation of the board members of this body that collected the money, and also they want investigations, like what is really happening. Who is this that is preventing Jamaicans from getting the help? I mean, people are just exhausted, honestly speaking. You can see exhaustion in these people's facial expression. Guys, I hope you really watched the clips up to the last point, because it's really important to know what these people are saying and what their facial expression tells, because you can see people are talking about slow systems whereby things take so much to be executed. You can see weak accountability, you can see too much bureaucracy, too much politics. I mean, it's just chaotic, I can honestly tell you. So, my good people, people like the PNP and those that are against the government, for them, they always respond with one simple point, that if the systems are so slow that only 1.8% gets to be spent after several months, then that will mean that the systems are broken. And once they tell the good people of Jamaica that, I can honestly tell you that particular response resonates very, very well with ordinary Jamaicans, especially now that they are facing challenges and struggles. The money is there, lying idle, and they are still suffering. So you can see that, if even the opposition comes out, of which I know we have clips of them here in our video today, speaking and talking about the issue, yeah, whatever they'll come up with, it will resonate very well with the people. But again, I can't wait to see the government coming out and explaining to Jamaican people what happened. Why are Jamaicans not getting the help? Jamaicans abroad sent money because they wanted to help their people back at home. Back abroad, their churches probably contributed, their community, they contributed. You could see diaspora community coming together, sending items back home in Jamaica. I mean, people sacrificed so much so that Jamaicans could get quick help. So at this point, you can see that feeling of personal connection to this story. And by them seeing this now, I can tell you it's really heartbreaking. I mean, people are, I'm also heartbroken, by the way, because having seen whatever happened during that month and time, it was devastating. It was scared, because being in the house and then everything goes, and then you remain there. You are inside your house. I remember of this clip. Of a family inside their home, and they are using an umbrella. Oh my god, it was so heartbreaking. I really felt like crying. Imagine, you are supposed to be in a house, so that you cannot be rained on, and then the hurricane comes, takes away your roof. You're left in the house now using an umbrella. Oh my god, that is so heartbreaking. Anyway, guys, I don't know what you think about this particular issue. Probably comment down below. Tell us what you think about this, because for me, I know the Jamaican people are demanding for transparency. They are demanding for a detailed explanation from the government. They are demanding for timelines of how the good people of Jamaica are going to be helped. They are demanding for accounting. They want all this money to be accounted. They are demanding for answers and honesty. So I really hope we will get all of that in probably the next briefing that the government will do. If they're not going to do, then we know, yeah, this thing is just chaotic. Anyway, thank you guys. I'll see you in the next video sometime.